Everybody that puts on a uniform has served a function and a purpose, and that is all geared toward a mission. And at the end of life, where the patient, the veteran, is on his final mission, they, to me, become even more important.
Just a very intimate, very emotional time for them. And to have that connection with somebody towards the end of life, it's really a blessing.
The pinning ceremonies are rooted in that thanking veterans for their service. We pin about 500 patients a year, and we send a veteran volunteer to their home, assisted living, nursing home, or place of residence, and they read a very simple script. The language very much mirrors ceremonies in the military that individual would have been familiar with. It includes a salute, it includes that veteran identifying who they are, where they served, and how they connect that way, and the placing of a pin on the lapel or depending on their clothing.
It is one of the most unique things that happens to our veteran patients, and they certainly are worthy and deserving of it. A great many of them that I have done are World War II decorated combat veterans, and some Vietnam veterans also, and particularly the Vietnam veterans haven't been thanked for much of anything. I have met some of the absolutely most incredible people that I have ever met in my life. Combat troops that have served in World War II, a Pearl Harbor survivor, Congressional Medal of Honor recipient. I had the privilege of pinning a gentleman several months ago, and he had been a Navy fighter pilot. The last mission that he flew, they were shot down. He and his crewmate were shot down. And the gentleman I was pinning spent 5 years and 7 months in the Hanoi Hilton. And anybody that remembers the Hanoi Hilton, that was not a vacation.
Our veterans, they've served our country. When they signed their name on a line, they signed for their lives. Just recognizing and being thankful for what they've given to us, or what they offered to give for us and for our country, is just very special.
To be able to have that last salute, that last thank you, that last appreciative point of view from, be it a veteran, a Tidewell member, and it also shows us. Sometimes people are so caught up in normal day life that we forget that these people sacrificed so much. They lost their brothers, their sisters, and to have that community and that last thank you with someone who understands is exactly what this program is looking to do. And I know a lot of them have spoken to us, and they're ready to see their brothers and sisters that they lost overseas.
As some of our patients, when you would read a medical chart, you would read they're bedbound, they're comatose, they haven't eaten, they haven't spoke in days, a week, not responsive. When that veteran comes in and delivers that ceremony, we see hands raised to try to return a salute. We've seen tears come out of the eye. We've seen eyes open. We've seen a grab of the hand.
One of the first pinnings that I did, the patient, because of his illness, was unable to communicate. He understood, he heard, but he wasn't able to say what was on his mind. So his communication was a grunt and a point. And he then turned to his son and was pointing and grunting for the scrapbook that he had. And he laid it in my lap, and he would turn to pages and point to a picture. And his wife's challenge was to tell me the story behind that photograph. And if he did not like the story the way she told it, he got angry and grunted and pointed in an angry fashion. And she would retell the story until he was satisfied with what she was saying. And this went on and on for 15 or 20 minutes, and he was relating to a veteran. So I got up and I stood in front of him and put my hand out, and real firm, long, solid handshake. And I told him, I said, I want to thank you for your service. And this gentleman looked up at me, and as clearly as we're speaking here this morning, he said, you are welcome in my home at any time. His wife stood up and came over and put her arms around me. She said, those are the first words that we heard him speak in almost 8 weeks. To be able to recognize what a person has done, not for themselves, not for their family, but for their country, at a time when in many instances they've never been thanked for what they did, It brings a amount of joy to the family and to the patient to hear those words verbalized.